In this video I'm gonna explain why Sweden is the only country that could produce a climate change activist child. Sweden is an unbalanced country regarding the core values, and the core values is something every Swedish person has to share, because there's some core values you cannot disregard from, and you cannot oppose a core value. So what does that mean? One of the core values I'm going to talk about is climate change alarmism, and that is you have to be open, you have to believe that you need to be pro climate change alarmism. If we don't act now, something very terrible will happen in a short period of time. What is a core value? There's plenty of core values in Sweden. That's just the way it is. And how a core value is created, Sweden is a pretty much one-sided country. We have democracy, and you can have different political views regarding different things, and there are things that I call core value that you cannot oppose from. The people denying the core values are considered as maniacs. In a family, you can oppose core values. It's not popular in every family, but you know, family will accept it. You can talk about it open in the dinners and the holidays where you gather family and relations. Colleagues, you cannot. And this is the big difference. White collars, intellectual service industry of some sort, people working with a computer mostly. And there's blue collars. Blue collars is working people, working in industry, or cleaning persons or sales persons in the supermarkets and some sort. And in the blue collars industry, you know, you're accepted to have opinions that is not according to the core values, because people are more likely to agree with opinions conflicting with the core values. But there's also work that you cannot do that, and that's white collar job. Well, intellectual, you know, people are well educated in the service industry. That's more important that you agree with the core values, because those people are considered a little bit more smart, educated. They know more about the bigger pictures, where blue collars people, they're not educated enough, and they're considered a little bit stupid in some people would say. I think it's not a good term, but you know, they don't expect to be as smart as the white collar people. So they can have a different opinion than the core value. The media in Sweden, there's pretty much only white collar people. They are expected to be more smart and see the bigger pictures. Every TV personality, they have to have, some would say political correct, but you know, it's pretty much in Sweden that you have to sign off on the core value if you're supposed to be a public person working in the media, TV personality, or some sort of celebrity. Most celebrities are required to agree with the core values and be compliant to them. Why is that? Well, those people working in the TV industry or media as a TV personality, they are required to have these good values. That's also journalists. They're very much required to share the core value. Well, if you work in the media and you're a representative for the public, you are required to be a little bit more bright, and that's very important, because you will have no future in the media or be a public person if your opinions are not compliant with the core values, if you don't share these opinions. There's a few big celebrities that doesn't do this, but you have to be very famous for not agreeing with the core values. And that is also the reason why journalists in the media are pretty much working with this agenda of spreading the core values instead of questioning it like maybe they should. And I guess in most countries they have media for the whole spectrum, like left and right wing, or alternative opinions or no opinions at all. They just questions everything, and that is not the case in Sweden. We only have one side view, and that is little bit problematic. In USA they have Fox News, for example, and we don't have that in Sweden at all. The only alternative media is considered a very bad thing. You cannot talk about it in the white collar coffee break room, you know, at work with colleagues. You just don't. And if you do, it's a very big risk that you will get in some kind of trouble. Your status will be affected. People will maybe talk a bit about you when you're not there in a bad term. It's not a thing you can do in a white collar community or with colleagues. So, where does a child climate change activist come into this picture? Well, she's born in Sweden and grew up in a very much concentrated area with white collar people, everybody sharing core values, and there's very few people that does simply not agree with the core value in her area. It's her parents, they're very much sharing the core value, and the teachers around her, her friends, parents, and all around her is so sharing the core values that she never hear about any blue collar opinion saying her no, it's not like that, or no, it's highly aggregated. The climate change alarmism isn't a real thing. The world will not go under within the next 15 years like she believed, or how many years she does do things, do believe in, because she never meet those people, and those people are surrounding the whole Sweden. You cannot grow up in any other part of Sweden without hearing opinion that disregard with the core values. That is just not happening. And maybe you need to hear that, because then you know the truth is in the middle. And so this climate change activist child, Greta, she had no grown-ups comfort her by saying no, nothing will happen within the next 15 years, because the climate has always changed and we don't know that yet. So, but nobody has done that for her. I don't doubt her in the UN speech, her real fear of, I think that looks very authentic. She has fear of that, because no one has ever told her that that will not happen within the 15 years. So she grew up, maybe have eating disorder or you know, mental health problems, cannot sleep, cannot make friends, cannot grow up as a normal child. She's deeply affected with the climate change alarmism, very deeply. She has lost her childhood, she says it by herself, and I don't doubt it. Maybe she has, because she seems to feel pretty bad. So she didn't have a childhood seeking friendship and enjoying things like normal child. No, she didn't do that, because everybody around her shared the white collar opinion and the people driving this agenda and not asking the real questions. No one in her surrounding has tried to ease her anxiety and comforting her. No one. And that is very tragic. That is a failure from her parents and her relatives and even her teachers. And that's just the way it is. That would not happen in any other part of the world, perhaps North Korea, you know, where everybody has the same opinion. Sweden is turning into North Korea, at least regarding TV personalities, and pretty much all famous people in Sweden has to agree with it. And every new Swedish celebrity are asked these questions by media if they share the core values, and if they do not share the core values, hell will break loose. Trust me, people will get shit for that, and headlines, and people will pressure these new personality, famous persons, until they comply with the core values. Climate change is one, and there's other. I'm not gonna go into that right now, but this is Sweden in a nutshell. This is Sweden as it worst. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm gonna try to do my best to keep doing this in my YouTube channel, because I know there's very many people aboard asking this question. They want to find out what is happening to Sweden and why are we the way we are. Sweden used to be one of the best countries in the world. We have a very good economy and the healthcare system was perfect. All the welfare system was very good, and now our economy is going down, 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 down. Very bad things will happen with in Sweden the next couple of 2 to 5 years, and I don't look forward to it, but I know it's happening, and I'm sorry about that. But things are the way things are, and I'm just gonna try to talk a little bit about it, because I know there's very many people aboard all over the world that are curious about what is happening to Sweden, and as far as I know there's not many people talking about it in like YouTube English speaking, so I'm just gonna do my best and try to do that. Do I look a little bit sweaty or hot or something? Well, it's pretty warm here, 30 degrees. Right now I'm in southern Europe. The name of the channel is Intra Sweden. Intra is Latin for within or inside, so that's a short name to describe what I'm doing here and my purpose is with this channel. I hope you will enjoy.